So don't let me go, nah, 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 nah. I'm all up in that love haze. So where do we go, nah, nah? Just let me know that I am safe here in your arms. I wanna stay, stay. I'm slipping away. So don't let me go now. The love is exceptional. It fills me up. It's out of control, out of control. Oh baby, I love the rush. It overflows. It's out of control, out of control. I'm in love. I'm in love.
Hi everyone, welcome to 2026, a new year. And I always believe that a new year is like this amazing opportunity to try new things, do new things, achieve new things, and keep all the things that have worked for me in the past. I did a video about how I look at the end of each year and the thought process that I kind of go into in looking back so that I can look ahead. I also talked about the fact that I don't set resolutions. I like to focus myself on intentions, things that I intend to achieve or intend to do. And often I tend to have a lot of intentions. And that's because I'm very much a person that kind of throws a lot out there, hoping that something for the year will stick. I want to go through my 5-step process that I use when I set intentions for a new year. This is what works for me, and maybe some of these tips will help some of you to set some of your own intentions, or at least ponder the opportunities that can come with a new year. So stick with me till the end. Hi, my name is Reina, and this is Small Retired Life. And on my channel, we talk about all things retirement, the ups and the downs of living in our 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. If you're new, welcome here. At this stage of my life, I'm in my retirement, I'm 64, I don't set resolution. Instead, I think about where I want to focus my attention in the coming year. And essentially, I have 5 steps that I use that have proven to work for me in any case, that focus me in on the new year and allow me to set some intentions. I definitely am someone who likes to set a lot of intentions because I firmly believe that we never really accomplish every single thing we set out to do. Resolutions are very static. It's that whole concept of I'm going to lose 50 pounds, and then you leave it at that. You follow a diet for a couple of weeks, and by the end of January, you're done with it. Intentions for me are something that's a little bit broader. It would be something like, instead of saying I want to lose 50 pounds in the course of, 6 months or whatever it is, I think about saying I want to improve my health. And these are some of the things I'm going to do that will help me to do that. And then I set systems in place that help me get towards the goal of that intention that I set. Now, I mentioned that I have 5 steps that I use. And the very first step, and probably one of the most important for me, is number 1, I think about how I want my days to feel. Do I want to do less? Do I want to do more? Do I need more peace in my life? Do I need a little bit more activity so I can spur my creativity? Have I been too much into my reading and into staying at home and that type of thing? I basically look at my day and think about my day, and I think about the things that I want to see and that I enjoy. Sometimes that means looking back at the year before, looking at what made my day feel really good, and that's where journaling helps because I have a record of what my days were like. But essentially, I know for a fact that for me in 2026, I want my mornings to be sacred. So I intend to not pack a lot of activities or a lot of meetings or a lot of tasks first thing in the morning. The morning, I find, is my best time to have a cup of coffee and sit down with my journal and journal my thoughts and think about my day and that type of thing. I need peace and quiet in the morning. I have found in the past year that days that were disrupted in the morning or where I felt rushed and had too many things to do, I was cranky. And so what I want for 2026 and what I want my day to look like in 2026 is peaceful mornings. Now that I know that, I can sit down and help myself by writing some systems and thinking about systems that will allow me to have these peaceful mornings. Maybe it's about not scheduling appointments and things that will disrupt my morning. Maybe it's about having a morning routine that is peaceful and that feels good for me and my body. Everybody's different. Some of you are morning people, and so you may want to feel that you want to get up early in the morning and you want to work out and you want your errands done first thing. Everyone's different, but in essence, just sitting down and thinking about what you want your days to look like is a good method in at least placing some systems into play that will help you achieve that throughout the year. Now, I know that not every day is going to be perfect, and I'm okay with that because I have not set any hard rules. I'm just thinking about intentions. My intention is to have peaceful mornings, and my systems to make that happen will be this, and that's how I want to move forward into the new year. The second thing I consider when I'm setting intentions is what I choose to carry and what I choose to release. So it's not really about fixing mistakes. It's more about editing things out of my day-to-day that didn't serve me or that actually created a lot of stress for me. For me, a lot of those things are surrounded by my business because anytime you have a business or if any of you work or have duties such as caretaking for others and so on, those types of things create a significant amount of stress in one's life. I always worry about things like, am I working hard enough? Am I working hard enough on my channel to deserve the views that I'm getting? Am I giving my viewers what they want to see and what they want to hear? Am I putting enough research into my episodes? There's all of these things that kind of infiltrate my brain when it comes to my business because my business is my baby. Part of reflecting on some of these things is that I can question stuff like what worked and what didn't work. What were some strengths that came out of that were a total surprise for me? And what completely drained my soul and I don't really want to carry with me into the next year? Really thinking about those things and giving it serious consideration is what helps you move on and helps with the editing process. In other words, removing some of those things that didn't serve you. Topics that really came to mind for me was things like not managing things that I can't really control. I can't control how many views I get. As long as I'm doing the work and I'm putting in the effort into my channel, that's really all I can do. I can't control the people outside of my camera. I can only give them material that they're going to enjoy listening to. And so I need to edit those kind of worries out of my life. So that's something that I need to do. Everybody has their own issues. It could be things like family or relatives that are creating pressures that you really have no control over. And your reactions and how you react and how you worry and how you stress out about those things may need a little bit of an exercise in editing certain feelings out. Also, understanding that maybe there was a way that you dealt with that situation that was really great. And so thinking about what made that work, what was the strength inside of you that made that work for you? What were the tools that you used to kind of get through those situations? Those are the things that you want to maintain and you want to foster and you want to continue to have in your life. Really pondering on what you want to keep and what you want to edit out, I think will give you a little bit more of a pathway as you head into 2026. Number 3 is care of the body without pressure. What that means to me is looking after your health and yourself without being mean to yourself. One of the negatives of having a business, and especially a newer business, is that I spent so much time last year focusing on my business and doing videos and writing scripts and filming, all of it sitting down. And I didn't maintain as regular a schedule when it came to doing walks, watching what I eat, maintaining a good diet, and doing things that are healthy for my body and healthy for my soul at the end of the day. In 2026, I definitely need to improve on that. My intention are to focus more on myself and my health in 2026. That will be kind of the main focus for me. My business is doing okay and I still want to keep learning and doing things, but I'm retired, and the whole concept of retirement is that you get to do what you want and you can focus on those things that allow you to be healthy and allow you to maintain a decent schedule and to do all of the things that one is doing. And maintaining good health is so key. It is the most important thing. I've done so much research about getting healthy in one's older age, and 100% of the time, the most frequent thing I hear is strength training, moving your body, mobility, maintaining your mobility, maintaining your muscle mass. And I've just abandoned a lot of that last year because I focused on my business. So this year, I want to focus on my health. And it's not about losing a ton of weight, though I do need to lose a little bit of weight. I basically went from being in a normal range to just the slightly overweight range this year. And I want to pull that back. And I don't do that through any huge diets, but I do that through focusing on health in general and then maintaining systems in place to help that. So in other words, doing groceries and ensuring I only have good things in my fridge, not buying chips and candy and other things that are then so easy to grab. To make intentions like health and wellness and maintaining your weight a little bit easier on yourself, you have to, there's no other way around it. One has to expend energy into making it possible and making it attainable by having healthy things in your fridge, setting aside the time to do walks and exercise. So that is an area of focus. I have intentions to just get a little bit healthier than I was last year. And I've started some systems that will hopefully help me do that. I'm not being mean to myself. I'm not going on any huge diets. I'm not depriving myself. What I'm doing is common sense, sensible things like walking more, doing some weight workouts, not buying junk food, and focusing on doing a little bit of meal prep to help me reach for things in the fridge that are already pre-made and that are healthy. These are common sense things, blah, blah. These are common sense things that we know we need to do, but often we kind of don't place enough focus and attention, and there's a lot of other things that kind of seem to pull us in other directions. This is a focus area for me, may not be for you, but I still every year consider, what is my health like? Have I had my checkups? Am I doing the best things for myself to keep myself healthy and able to live a high quality of life even though I'm older? Number 4 is, how are my finances and how do I relate to them? Every year at the beginning of the year, I sit down and I look at what my budget looked like the year prior. I have an idea of what my monthly spends are, and that takes me into the new year on a better footing. This year, I noticed a lot of expenses went up. My condo fees are higher starting in January. My car and home insurance are higher. My taxes went up, and utilities are definitely higher this year. And groceries. Let's not even talk about groceries. So I sat down and I wrote out a budget for the year. This is a guideline. I know myself and I know there's going to be things month to month that will happen. But essentially, and if you're curious, my budget for this year is around $3,000 a month. That includes pretty much everything except for travel. And the reason I don't include travel is because my travel is covered off by my YouTube. I mean, this is why I do YouTube, so I can travel. Travel is so expensive, and I never kind of had the urge to travel when I retired, but when I started doing YouTube, I realized that it was a great way for me to see my kids in Australia, my grandchildren, my son and his wife. And so that's the money I use for that. And it doesn't really form a part of my budget. I just have to work a little bit extra for it. My retirement income is what I look at when I look at my monthly budget, and making sure I have enough money coming in from my investments, because right now I don't receive any pensions. I just have investment income coming in, and making sure I have enough, and also looking at where my investments are sitting. I manage all of my own money. So I look at all of the ETFs that I'm holding, and are they working for me? Is there maybe some changes that I need to make? Are there things I should be selling? Are there things I should be buying? So I look at all of that and try and form a picture for the year. I try not to be too restrictive with my budget, in the sense that I know things happen every month. And so I do a little bit of money each month, with the idea that it's not slated for anything particular. It's just there in case, life happens, as it always happens. By doing that every year, I have a record of where things perhaps went really well and where things may need to be improved. I definitely spent a lot more money last year than I was expecting. I bought things that I didn't really need, and did they give me joy? Well, not always. Sometimes they were kind of a want thing. I also purchased things for my business which were necessary, and which kind of fit into a different part of the budget because I am able to write them off my taxes. But essentially, I take a look at what I spent and make some goals for this year. I know there's things I want to spend less money on this year, and so I've kind of designed my budget to ensure that I avoid buying some of these things. I know I will need to spend money on my business, but I'm okay with that, because again, that money comes from my business and goes back into my business, and my business will hopefully grow a little bit. Also in this section, I guess I look at my business, I look at what I'm doing on YouTube, and I consider, do I want to grow it? Am I happy with where things are at? Do I want to stay the same? I'm very type A, and I always want to see how successful I can make something. How far can I stretch myself to accomplish some amazing things? At the same token, I love having a small retired life. I love being retired and not having a lot of pressure. So these are things that are consistently a push and a pull against each other, and that I need to think about. And probably this is way more than one video can kind of contain, but I think about my business in the finance section because the two are very related to each other. It's good practice to sit down at the beginning of the year and look at your finances. Don't avoid them. Don't run from them. I know people hate looking at their finances because it freaks them out. If you can do something super awesome for yourself this year, what I would say is learn a little bit about money. It's worthwhile to understand your money and not always have other people telling you what you should or shouldn't be doing. It's great to get good advice. Always look for some professional advice, but understand what it is that is happening with your own money. Make that a small little mini goal for 2026. Number 5 is intentions set around the concept of what do I want to be curious about. And so in this category, I think about the things I want to learn and maybe experience in 2026. I know as far as my business goes, I want to learn how to film better, how to edit better, and how to make my videos more appealing to the people that watch them, all of you. So that's one of the things. I want to get better at knitting. I want to read more books and maybe read some books that expand my thoughts and my ideas and concepts. So not necessarily self-help, but even books on stoicism and that type of thing. So books that teach me something. So in this area, I set some intentions as far as potential things that I want to learn. Like, for example, I really want to improve my French. I speak French, but I have forgot how to speak fluently because I never speak it. So maybe this is something I would like to explore. Like I said, my hobbies, learning how to knit better and crochet better. Filming is a huge one for me. I definitely want to get better at becoming actually a filmmaker as opposed to just a YouTuber, making my B-roll more appealing, like the intros to my videos. I want them to feel really nice and evoke feelings for people. So these are some of my goals. This is such a important part of setting intentions because when you're retired, the things that keep you occupied, the things that feed your mind and that you do day to day are probably the most important and the most fulfilling things that you do in your retirement. These are all activities and things that make retirement fun. These are supposedly the things you've been wanting to do forever and ever and never had the time, but now you have the time. For some of you, it could be actually experiencing a little bit of solo travel if you've never done it before. Maybe start out with a small trip, baby steps. I'm all about the 1% improvement. In any case, I make this an integral part of my New Year planning so that I have something down in writing. All right, so these are the 5 steps that I go through every year. I usually do this the first week of January because the end of December, like in my last video, I look back at the previous year or at the year that's just ending so that I have a clear mind of how I want to step into the new current year that is coming up. So all of these intentions and my plans and my goals, I really do in the first week of January. Just because you're retired does not mean that you shouldn't have dreams. If anything, retirement is your opportunity to dream everything you've ever wanted to dream, and then to set systems in place to make some of those dreams happen. They don't all need to happen. After all, they always say hope is better than nothing. And I always think that dreaming dreams and dreaming big is better than not having any kind of anticipation for something exciting. I like to anticipate exciting moments, exciting things, and opportunities that could come my way. So I hope that you take some time to plan out your year in 2026 and to think about the kind of life you want to have, the kind of small retired moments that you want to experience, and we'll get there together. As always, I ask you to put any tips and any comments you have in the comment section below the video, because there is a whole community of people on here that are always thirsty for new ideas and new ways of doing things. So again, Happy New Year to all of you, and onward and forward into 2026. I will be back here next week on Tuesday at my regular time. Bye!